Very late evening to all of you, and I'm Sonia Sadman, and we are Team Albatross. So today we're going to talk about a very critical situation of our country. So before I move on to the presentation, I'm going to give a little overview of how we're going to proceed. So this is basically the format we'll be following. So initially, I'm going to talk about the situational analysis. So moving on. So our farmers. The farmers are the real heroes of our country. It's because of these farmers, the agricultural sector of our country forms the backbone of our nation. And as you can see from all the statistics, a huge proportion of the entire population is involved in farming. So it is of prime importance that we ensure a proper livelihood for these farmers. Moving on. So what is the main problem that we're facing? So to demonstrate the problem, what we have here is a chain of events that take place for the vegetable products to move from the farmers to the end consumers. So for example, for instance, let's talk about potatoes. So the farmers are producing the potatoes. First of all, they sell it at a very small price, at a very low price, at around 1 to 2 taka to the different mahajans of the villages. From the mahajans, it moves on to the wholesalers, the retailers, and then finally to the end consumers. But by the time it reaches those consumers, there's a huge price hike. And the majority of this price, the profit that's earned, it's enjoyed by these middlemen. And as a result, the farmers are being left empty-handed. So that's where our main problem is. Our farmers are not getting the fair price. And that's the problem we'll try to come up with a solution for. Moving on, I'm going to pass the stage on to my next member.
So I'll be talking about the recommendations that we're going to make for this problem, to tackle this problem. Before the recommendation, I would like to say we had an alternative. We could have gone to the middleman and told them not to create this syndicate, to be more socially responsible, but that is not feasible and it's not practical because they're very profit motive. So what we have come up with is Rodrapana, Sharashri Shortage. In this idea, this is our big idea. In this idea, what we are going to do is we are going to go to the farmers, procure the vegetables from at a higher rate than the middleman, and then sell it into the market at a lower price than the middleman usually does. For example, if one vegetable is bought from the farmers for 2 taka, we will buy it for 8 taka. And if it's sold in the market for 20 taka, we will be selling it for 16 taka. The 8 taka extra that we have is going to cover our cost and have a smaller profit margin. So how are we going to implement this idea? How are we going to convince people to buy from us, buy from Rojakona, and how are we going to convince everybody? We have an activation campaign called Eat Right, Save Lives. Here we are targeting parents. We will be telling them to know the product, know your vegetable, where it's coming from, how much it actually costs, and then feed the right thing to your children. This way, not only are you saving your child's life, you're also helping the farmers to feed their children. Moving on. We will have activation booths near schools, colleges, and there the activation group is going to have a juggler who will be juggling fake vegetables. We don't want to waste food. And there will be balloon makers making vegetable sheet balloons and offering it to the children. This way the children will be attracted and the parents would be coming to the booth as well. And there we will have a small screen showing an audio-visual presentation showing where the vegetables are coming from and how the farmers' lives are. This is going to keep playing on repeat all through the day. And there will be innovative posters all over the booth. And this will be in 100 different places all over for the initial stage, Dhaka district. Moving on, I'll be passing the floor to the booth.
Good afternoon. So, we are going to establish an online delivery system. People know how good farmers' vegetables are, but still they rush to the supermarkets simply because they do not have time. Life is so busy. So, this online delivery system will make their life convenient and will help them to get the fresh vegetables. Talking about online delivery systems, next slide. Our delivery trucks will be really innovative. It will look something like this. So this delivery truck will be easily catching the attraction of the people. Moving on. We're going to go for guerrilla marketing. Innovative guerrilla marketing is like you can see that fake vegetables are created around the trees. It's really attractive. Then we are going to design the packets of the products, the vegetables, in an innovative way. In the packets, the life stories, the life struggles, and how Rodrakona is making their life better will be imprinted so that people have a better idea. Moving on. Lastly, we are going to create a buzz in the social media. We are going to post regular Facebook updates about how Rodrakona is doing so much good for the farmers as well as for the consumers. Then we are going to upload different inspired videos in the YouTube channels. We have something to demonstrate in the later of the presentation. And we are also going for the traditional medias like newspaper ads. Moving on, the evaluation part. This part will be conducted by Albatross.
Moving on to the evaluation and how we are going to promote ensure the feasibility of our plan. We are ensuring fair price not only for the farmers. We are also ensuring the fair price for the end customers, as we are delivering the products at the much lesser price than the current market price. And this will also help to create a demand in the internal market, and this will also help us to make our plan feasible in future. Moving on to the financials, we have gone through a detailed budgeting that I am not going to be described, but these are how we are going to the cost will be occurred. Moving on, this is how the online delivery process will occur. Moving on, this is how we are going to market our products, and this is the financials how we are going to market it. And this is the total cost will be 1.2 crore for initial 1 year. Moving on.
So to summarize, what we presented was an idea. It was an idea to help protect our farmers. As I've already mentioned, these farmers forms the backbone of our nation. And with this, I would like to end our presentation. And we have a small video as well to show.
সুন্দর আমাদের প্রকৃতি এদেশে মাটি করেছে এদেশকে সুজলা সুফলা শস্য শ্যামলা তাই এখানে হাওয়ায় হাওয়ায় প্রাণের স্পন্দন এক মুঠো ফসলের জন্য কৃষকের নিরন্তর পরিশ্রম গোলা ভরা ফসল নিয়েও আজ কৃষক চিন্তিত পারবে তো হাসতে শেষ হাসি সেজন্যই আজ আমাদের এই যাত্রা সুখে বেঁচে থাক অনাবিহীন হাসিতে ভরে যায় কৃষকের মুখ রৌদ্রকলা সরাসরি সতেজ
It's a very good model. Probably I'm guessing you have already done some good amount of research on this. Can we go back to the slide of financials? Right. So let me okay. So we have a lot of
This is the cost structure.
So for advertising,
volume.
Sorry, sir.
This is the cost part, right? Revenue part.
and next online delivery. So for online delivery, this is the cost. Human resource management, barriers, 6 employees, and trucks.
That's the initial.
Right.
What's the volume?
Yes, please.
What's the volume are you saying?
Volume?
Volume of vegetables. How many metric tons or what's the type?
Also the actual amount of the product.
Approximate. I mean, I'm just trying to understand what's the scale of operation.
Maybe a ton. We haven't thought of it that way.
Actually, we are going to collect our products initially from Dhaka division, and later on we'll be expanding our plan to other parts of the country.
We don't exactly have a exact amount.
Exact
That's
scale.
why we
That's
come
I
up with
understand
You're
your
talking about Dr. King's first, no? identify a process how we can solve the problem of price for the farmers, right? So this is a very good business model, very good business plan, it's fine. But what I see is that you're targeting a very small portion of the farmers with a business model like this. The question, how do we solve the problem of the farmers as a whole?
So basically, sir, this is basically a pilot model. It's an initial stage. It's in the initial stage.
Do you think when you want to go to the country level, do you think there should be one company like this, there is smaller companies like this in different areas, or one big corporation? What do you think?
Okay, one big company handling different locational strategies. But initially we just focus on it.
Basically, sir, initially what we're going to do is create a brand of
once that is created, we will be expanding.
So that will be in that way it will be easier for us.
I'm sure you have heard about the Amar Desh Amar Gram and Direct Fresh, and they also have something of a similar type of model where they want to cut down the middleman, where they want to be the only middleman, bringing the produce from the farmer to their stores directly. But so that's why I was trying to find out in the financials that are there elements like how do you bring all these farmers together under your network? How do you train them to produce that particular quality of produce that can actually be sold through your trucks? So I was looking for those elements, but I'm really struggling to find those here. Okay, and the second part would be that, like what is already mentioned now, the scale and the audience that you're targeting. Currently, the audience very much seems to be the upper middle class, the high class people who are always on Facebook or really trust social media to that level that they can actually take the risk of buying products from Rodrokona and not from the local grocery store or the nearest shuttle.
As I said, that the activation booths will be near schools. It won't be near schools like Albatross or Greenwell. It will be near them, of course, but it will be near schools like the government schools or the national curriculum schools as well, where we have a wide range of income-holding parents coming and dropping their children and seeing the activation.
Our main target, or the main USP of our product is mainly to attract the emotional side. It's like by buying this product, we are like contributing to the farmers' lives.
Eat right, save lives.
Yes, so it's basically that the emotional.
So which is a very basic product, right?
Yes.
Do you think customers will, make the decision on an emotional thing for buying vegetables? Do you think? I don't know. That's the question.
Yes, when they see that, when they hear that they're like the AVs, the audiovisuals that we'll be showing, it won't be exactly the one we showed. This was just a demonstration, basically, but it will have AVs where they're showing where the vegetable is coming from and if it has formulated or not, and those kind of things will be shown as well. So they will be sure that they're feeding their children
the safe product, as well as they're also contributing to the farmers' children as well.
And we're going to have online delivery only, or delivery only, or we're going to have shops?
Shops as well, sir. We have
your own brand
shop. Yes, sir.
But only for vegetables.
Only for vegetables.
Since, and I'm guessing you are all from business background, or most of you are from business background, and if you, and this is a very personal suggestion, it's not something to do with presentation, because I've seen so many presentations on particularly this type of business models, and every time I fail to find those key points that I've already mentioned, and again this is pretty much I don't know, this model does not really hold true in the present context of Bangladesh for a number of factors, starting from, let's say we cut down the middleman, then Rodrokona has to gain that level of trust, otherwise the farmers won't really sell their produce to Rodrokona, number one. Why so? Because Rodrokona then has to come up with many other offers for the farmer, which is why they would stop selling their produce at the local market at a lower price and start selling their produce to Rodrokona at maybe 2 Dhaka premium. Because those local wholesalers or the arundars or వ్యాపారీస్, they have been giving these farmers a lot of benefits, which I don't know if Rodrokona will ever be able to give them or not. So these are some reality checks. Second is that if Rudrapura starts from Dhaka, then I don't know how much scale it would be able to get. Given that there are already so many number of shops that have been in this industry for a long time. For instance, Agora, Meena Bazaar, Shopno, they might have established outlets. We have already come across Amar Desh, Amar Gram, and we also see international players like Red Fresh coming to Bangladesh. So in such a red ocean, it's quite difficult to set up a business like this and even
Based only on vegetables.
based only on vegetables. Yeah.
Agora has margin. Vegetable doesn't give the biggest margin. Small margin. They get margin from other products. That's why they can sustain the contract farming model and all others. Only on vegetables are available.
So basically, so it all comes down to the one point. The products that Meena Bazaar or Shopno they sell, they don't have that emotional side lined onto their product.
There is something I would like to add. It's like, yes, what you're saying is somewhat true. We don't have other products to be selling here, but our main idea is there to solve the middleman problem. And this is an idea that we would be approaching the government with, so that they can help us intervene in this problem and help the market. So this is more of focusing on problem solving rather than making a business out of it.
But it ultimately has to come down to the business solution, otherwise it won't be sustainable. But anyways,
Which industry is from?
Beauty, knowledge, and professionals.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, sir.
thank you.